to understand how to be a smart. When you are smart, in that case, you are not going to reinvent the wheel actually. You need to understand how you can reuse the things which is already there. Correct? We ऐसा नहीं होता है कि let's say if I want to build a car, everyone will start with okay, let's design the tire, let's design everything, right? It comes from everywhere, right? So that's how you need to start running on it. So we'll look into this Gen AI. Please ask a question. This is different from it is advanced type of machine learning, but its concepts and everything is different. It is going to make your life easy, and to be very frank, everything will go automated. Whether you are writing a article, whether you want to create an image, right? So you can directly say that okay, I want to build an image which is going to have a person sitting in front of let's say TV, and he is having a dog. It will spit out the image. You can even build your videos out of it, right? Everything can be automated. And finally, to be very frank, there will be zero touch. Most of the person is going to be sitting at home and it will do your things. Let's assume that a very simple thing, okay? If you go to any industry and if something fails, so the first एक बंदा आएगा वो check करेगा what has been failed, correct? Then he will say, okay, he will go and call the other person and say that okay, this is failed, let's fix it. Consider it is all automated using machine learning, big data, and the closed loop we say, right? So how it is going to happen? Machine learning is going to say what has been failed. It will have the video sensor. It will find out what has been failed. It will also send you the notification to the technician what is failed. And at the same time, it will say, in the past, I see the same type of issues looking at the past history. This is the recommended solution. It can even do that for this solution. In the last time there were 4 parts which is ordered. It will again send the mail automatically, right? In some of the case, the fix can be as simple as changing the config parameter of the particular machine, which is again online, which is connected to the internet. Okay, so that is the automation we are looking for, and it is not beyond 2027 and 28 or 30 max. Everything will be automated. Okay, including it is going to help the teaching also, paper check, everything can be automated. Okay, so we'll talk what is generative AI, and before that we'll talk about how that is different from the ML. Okay, what is a generative AI? So just a background. AI is nothing but actually, if you understand, so when I want to understand the science, I will first understand the science, the basic of science. AI is that actually. What AI is talking about, how we can make the computer understand our language. जो कि C++ में bytecode होता है. Consider that is an AI language. Then comes the ML actually, when we say that okay, let's feed the data, okay, and let machine find out the relevant information. So there are 2 types of relevant information. पहले तो मैं बोलूँगा okay, this is a set of data of let's say corona patient, where I'm going to I'm having all the past let's say 4 or 5 years of data of a corona patient. I'm going to say, out of this, they were critical, they are still alive, this has been expired because of lungs and all of that. This is a labeled data, right? If I train using this labeled data, it is a supervised learning. So you are providing the data, but you are also saying what type of data it is. It is a supervised learning. Unsupervised is something, you give the data. Don't say this is a corona patient data. It will find out the pattern. It will say that when you are going to ask the model what type of so what this data is talking about, it will itself will try to find out, okay, it seems to be patient data, maybe he may not, the model may not be able to find out the corona and all that, but it can do the analytics on top of it. It is more like a neural network actually. The way our brain works, right? That is what is unsupervised learning. Deep learning, it is a neural type of things where you give some type of a labeled data, some type of a unlabeled data, everything, right? So just an example of it, let's assume I want to build a model which can figure out any disease actually, right? So in that case, some of the diseases, some of the reports which I am going to have, I can directly label it because that is the outcome and I can take a feedback from doctor. But there are the some report which I can just feed it and the machine will try to classify them in one of the label. So it is using the language and sorry, it is using the supervised and unsupervised learning. That is a neural network. To be very frank, if you really want to draw these neurals and other, it's a millions of neural which is getting calculated and a huge machine is needed to build actually the unsupervised. Yes, there are many models, but they are not the one which is actually building a Gen AI type of a thing. If you really want to build a Gen AI, it needs a supercomputer of the things which takes almost 2 to 3 months to work around it. Okay, we'll get into that. So what is a Gen AI? Gen AI again a subset of deep learning. It is a labeled data and an unlabeled data. But what is Gen AI is it is helping you to generate a data out of it. Okay. Let's assume that I feed every data, everything like you are I'm to say all the students sitting here, right? Whatever attributes I can take, one is personal thing and college, academy and everything, I feed it into this model and I'm going to say, can you create a similar 100 more student which is on the same line? It will spit out. It will create a data for extra person, right? Which is a creation of a data. Or I can provide you something like that. I will feed let's say the dog images, I will say, okay, create an image similar to that, right? That is a creation of a data. It is generating a data, okay? That is what a Gen AI is, okay? What is a LLM model? LLM model is a huge model which is trained across the data, terabyte or much more data actually, okay? And there are only few companies which actually work on. And many people say that they are training the Gen AI model, they cannot do it actually. Okay. They cannot do it with a resource. It is a time consuming. You will need thousands of data scientists to work around it. It is a complex project. So we'll look into that when they say training, what actually they do. Okay. Any questions in this point? Large. Okay, we already talked about. So this is distributive versus generative model. So when we look into AI, well, it is more like distributive, right? Because we provide a labeled data and unlabeled data, and it can only say that okay, this data looks like that, right? It is just labeling it, okay? While generating, it is generating the new content out of the similar data, okay? The example I can take around is let's say okay, let's assume that many times in Nagpur we see the shutdown, that electric shutdown. Okay, now let's assume that the MSCD is maintaining some law, and they will record it why that particular shutdown is right. They will label. They are going to say the transformer were down or XYZ is down. So this is label data. Okay, so whenever the similar type of shutdown happen, when you give it to the model, it is going to try to classify, try to say that, okay, this is because of a transformer, because it happened on the same line as for the future. That is a discriminating type of data. Okay. But let's assume that I want to generate that type of a data myself, right? Generating it, that is a generating type of a model. That is a generator. Okay. Any question in this point? So this generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that creates a new content based on what has been learned from the existing content. The content can be text, audio, video, any data, any data. Okay? And the process of learning from, I think this is a basic part I'm not going to teach you, and I come to know that you already know the basic part of AI, and I'm not going to get into it. So the different types of things which can be generated is text, like it can write a essay, it can even you can just example, you can take it. Okay, you feed all the result of the let's say your college. You can ask, can you spit out which are the top three students from each of the section and all the particular speak out, right? If you try to also add more data to it, saying that what type of a person it is, right? Like some characteristics of the person, right? Hardworking and all other part, right? So you can even ask I have a student which is, let's say, hardworking but not smart. His maths is good and everything, let's say. And you can ask whether he's going to pass. It will try to recommend you actually, right? Okay, that is a machine learning type of a thing, right? Example in medical, you can provide the reports. Depending on the past, you can ask whether this person, how much probability of this person to survive actually. It gets PTO, right? So that is where the machine learning is going. Okay. This is a Gartner. I think everyone knows the Gartner. It is a top. I think every IT or across business, it is not only for IT industry. So they follow the report of that. So what they are saying by 2024, the conversational AI will go is the first step. What is conversational AI actually? Okay, so when you go to Airtel site or when you go to some site, right, Netflix and other, and if you face issue, you generally go to the chatbot, ask the question, right? And it is a static one. So when you are going to say what's are the plan, it is one-to-one map, and you will show it. And many times it is saying you don't get an answer. It will be replaced by the machine learning. Okay, you can ask any damn question. I am going to ask the same question differently. I am going to say my usage is I would like to see every month, let's say 20 movies of this type and other part. It will recommend you also that a normal chatbot cannot be doing. Okay, so that is where we are going actually. Just example of it, one of the projects we are working for one of the telecom. I'm not going to give the name. So we are automating their system. So where we have trained with their old data, you can ask them any damn question. You can ask, okay, I am facing this issue on my internet. So what are the steps to fix it? It will give you the chat. Okay. So that is where we are going. Okay. So the time has gone where okay, you will get a call and everything. Just forget about it. And the time is gone where the chatbots are more like a rule based. When I ask hello, this is to be replied. When I ask plan, this is to be replied. So that is a 2024. AI augmented development and testing strategy. 2025, we already started using it. Okay. So generally we open a notepad, we code and other, we are Eclipse and ID, okay, where we can add dot and methods are coming, right? I'm going to show you a demo. You just need to say create a workspace for a microservice using this technology, it will spit out the code. I am again going to say, okay, create a class file which is doing, let's say, uh, trying to find out the distance between the two location of the earth, it will write a code for you. That is where it is talking about the augmented development and testing strategy, right? So everything is automated, okay? So initially we used to give, let's say X number of days to implement a project. We are reducing it to 30 to 40% because we are automating. We are not writing a single line of code, like a small line of code like hello world and all. No, it is all getting open. So the project I think we are using it is a GitHub Copilot. If anyone has heard about it, it is a paid service. I am using actually for coding, and nothing bad actually. Don't say that I'm a bad coder if I am using Git tools. Okay, it is making my life easier, and that is what is needed. Okay, everyone is not supposed to reinvent a wheel and say that okay, I would first like to learn how to write and oh time here. Okay, अगर आप उस लेवल पे जाओगे, you're gone. Okay, use the tool, use what is already available instead of building it from the scratch. Okay. 2026 design effort for a new website. I talk about the code. At the same time, 2025 is testing. Okay. Again, testing will be automated. You release the build. अभी भी होता है actually. We release a build, the automated script run, report comes whether the build is to pass or fail. Right? We can generate a data using Genera where just a example which I given, right? So if I am reading a portal for let's say peer, so here college which is processing the student data, I will need some test data, right? I just explained. I can say that okay, depending on the past data, try to generate 100 type of a student so that I can test it, generate it, right? Instead of opening Excel or using a tool to generate a data. Okay. 2026 design, it is already started actually, where you just give the requirement, it will speak out the user story, it will speak out the test cases, it can write the test cases. Actually, if I have the demo for it, we'll try to show, okay, if possible. Okay. 2027, that is what I am talking about. Automatically generated by AI without a human input. You can directly say, I need this application with this feature. It will build the things. It is not like, so we are not needed. We are needed for validating, correcting another, but almost 30 to 40% of the effort is getting going to be get reduced. Any question till this point? So actually, I touch base each of them briefly. Software development, like I talked about, it is going to ease our development process, testing process, design process, requirement process. Knowledge management, like when we say knowledge management, there are a lot of data available, right? Even Indian government is having a lot of data. It is sitting out there, right? We can build a lot of things. You just provide the model, you can do you can, I don't know, but the data is everything nowadays. And data is almost creating 100 times what used to be done before 2 or 3 years. The reason behind, anyone, it is a 5G. Okay, almost 100 times more IoT device can be connected. We are still lagging. If you look at US and other, they are much ahead. So they are having a different sensor as simple as dog tracker and all of that. Okay, and simple example of a smart home I'm going to say. Okay, so if you are coming by a car and you are almost 500 meters near to your home, it can switch on the AC, it can switch, do the everything, right? So it can switch on the AC, it can change the ambience and all. That is where we are going. Conversational AI, we just talk about the chatbot and everything. होता है ना अभी सपोर्ट में कॉल जाता है कुछ टाइम के बाद उनकी जरूरत नहीं होगी to verify. It is all machine. You just call it, it will analyze, it will look into your past history, it will try to find out what what type of person you is, what is a plan and everything. It will also look into the similar type of issues which has been faced by the different user, will recommend you the fix as well as it will make a fix because uh, if you do some analysis and anything, right? It doesn't make sense without any action actually. अगर आप पढ़ते भी हो पढ़ के छोड़ दिए एग्जाम नहीं हुई तो it is of no use. That is action. Okay. So that's the case we are going into. Even if it is giving you the information, it needs to be closed. That information directly needs to be used somewhere. Okay. So that is where we are going. Content generation. So I think we can create a project report. You just download everything and just say that if you forward to build your project report, so you can build within 15 minutes a project report is there. And less than that, the only thing is you pick up the different data and say that okay, create a project report for this use case with this point it will generate. Okay, but I'm damn sure lecturer will find it out. Okay, because the language and everything it is different. You can find out because few of the lines will pick up from this method. Okay, because when we search anything, it is coming from the vector DB, which is like an index. The data is come. It goes to the model. It tries to stitch it to make it more user friendly. Because stitch, it's not so. I mean, there's a flow. The flow is not there. Okay. Data analysis and processing, like I talked about, it can analyze the data, whether it is network data, medical data, any data. Okay. Audio video generation, I just give an example. Even you can write a song. You can create a videos. Data augmentation and synthetic data. This I talk about where testing example I given, right? So if you want to generate a test data, like student data, we talk about.
So currently, whatever deepfake data videos are coming, right? So are they deepfake videos?
Deepfake is using they are using it. Right. They are using generative AI for sure. It is a mix machine learning and generative AI. And to be very frank, generative AI in the market is just evolving. It is really very less actual live use case which is getting used, and out of which some money is coming. Okay. Machine learning is helping most of the case. But जहाँ पे भी Gen AI use हो रही है ना, that is for the wrong purposes. Actually, in the business or in the industries, enterprise, they are still looking to that because generative AI, other than it is generating a data, that is good. But there is a lot of implication, the security implication, right? I provided the data, right, and some of the information is secure, right? जैसे मैंने ना वो कोरोना वाले पेशेंट का डेटा दे दिया, it is having the personal information, it spit out the personal information, right? If you build that model, if you for any client or anyone, your company will be closed. To be very frank, in the US or something happen, आपको इतना पैसा देना पड़ेगा, you're closed.
Okay. Drafting and coding can easily be identified that it is generated by the software.
Yes, but
there is a manages it.
Yeah, correct. But everyone is stopping actually to implement the reason behind the security and the validation of the data. It is generated some of the data. Okay, let's say if I give all the data of let's say PICT, sorry, your pre-national college, okay, and you are having let's say 20 branches, okay, but in explaining the model that you should only recommend the syllabus which is listed, if I forget that line, it will try to and you are going to ask, okay, please suggest a good what do you call what a branch actually. If I'm going to say I'm having I just passed out from 12, I like science and I'm more inclined more on the physics side, can you recommend me a branch? And let's assume the PLSC doesn't have a branch related to that, right? It will try to create it, right? So that is very bad. So there is a way, there is a prompt engineering which goes. They are the highly paid right now. Okay. What prompt engineering when you say okay, you should. So you need to tell the model that okay, model. So please act as a advisor, but stick to the plan which I am feeding you, branches which I am feeding you. Don't go beyond it. If anyone asks such question for which you don't have answer, don't give it. You again need to say, please don't speak out the personal information. So that is where the prompt engineering comes in, right? So it is very easy actually. You can go to GPT, you just pay $3, get a subscription and write a code of 10 lines for this actually. Okay? Because उसके बाद के जो implication है ना, that is a big one. That's needed time. So this talks about the industrial use case. I'm not going to get into detail. I have more stuff to cover. Like in finance, risk management, underwriting assistant, like I talk about, you can create a, so this can be used by the newspaper. Just forward about in newspaper का Feasibility, it is just picking the data and generating the newspaper every morning, which is very actually, to be very frank. Medical imaging, we talk about hyper-personalization. Hyper-personalization, I'm going to tell you actually. So if you go to, okay, let me come to, let's say if you go to some mall and you get into Nagpur, okay, and he or the particular camera is going to sense you entered and looking at your past history and any concern you raised in the last time that because of this particular type of a prototype or the itching and other, and looking at your buying power, right? It will finally recommend you as SMS saying that, yeah, आपके पास बहुत पैसा है, let's not go with a lower plan, let's recommend a higher plan, right? Such type of thing is actually going to be happening. So it includes demographic, buying power, and other. So a lot of things. It can be done with machine learning also, but GenAI make it easy. But still, to the client, we are till now we are still recommending the machine learning because we have more control and the implication still needs to work out. Actually, use cases everywhere. Actually, I think. If you talk about, I can give hundreds of examples right now. Okay, this is a SDLC. What time looked after? We study a lot in our school. This is getting changed with GenAI. So analysis, you give the requirement, it will create you a design document, it will do everything and other. A design pattern, it is already, if you train with all the patterns and everything, it can create a design. Code, like I talked about GitHub Copilot is one of them, where you just need to say that, okay, write me a class doing this, write me a class which will read from the Kafka, do a transformation, put it into the database, it will do it. Testing we already talked about, it can write a test cases, DevOps, monitoring, support incident management whenever ticket is raised. So the first example here, right? Whenever the issue is raised, oh, all about that is incident management. Okay, this is a, oh, I think there is one arrow there, okay. So what's a generative AI journey for an organization? Most of the people is using an existing foundation model, where if you can build the foundation model. Foundation model needs, how, I will say, terabyte or petabyte of data. It is huge, huge. हम लोग नहीं करेंगे. That is a new foundation model. It is expensive compute data and time. वो नहीं करेंगे. उसके लिए हमें कंपनी 4,000 लोगों की डालनी पड़ती है. Okay. So most of the people are using existing foundation model, and we use a prompt engineering to tune it, to use it, and the model tuning. Any question till this point? I think this is a long time. Everyone is doing for them. Chalo. This is where the GenAI can be used. Question answering, text generation, summarization. It can summarize the document, sentiment analysis, where looking at your chat history, it can say that are you sad or are you happy or anything. Machine transfer. Okay, I'm going to just move. Oh. LLM model is a huge model which is generated and trained on the huge data set. Okay. And this data is generally pulled as a text, but it can be used for spit out, and this is the actually part of a system. What is large? It is trained on to be verified GPT is using 35k parameters, 35k million parameters. That is a predictor. So predictor is nothing but an attribute. Let's say if I want to judge the health of a person, the attribute can be blood pressure and all of that. So consider that is a predictor. Okay. Language, it is irrespective of a language. You can ask the question Marathi or anything it will do. Model, which is having a pattern. Model is nothing but which is trained on the data, and all the patterns are embedded into it. Nothing else. Why it is not showing the model? Okay, there are many models actually, GPT, GPT-3, Orca Mini, and there are many models. Okay, and some of them model is actually the huge one. Okay, but out of that huge one, some smart people has done a very good work. Okay, उन्होंने क्या किया बड़े models लिए, उसका जो output आता है ना, they just try to generalize it, like aggregate, and they build a model out of which is small one. So what they have said, they don't need to train it on the huge data, but that pattern is embedded. So that is what Orca Mini and mini model is doing, and they are the best one actually. क्योंकि मैंने एक GPT लिया, मैंने एक दूसरा मॉडल लिया, उसका पैटर्न दूसरे को बनाया, तो that makes more sense to me. And they are lightweight actually. You can run it on your local machine. If you want to try, what was it? LM Studio is the one. Okay. Till now, no one was able to. It was very hard to run any model. Like GPT is almost 7 GB, 70 GB per model. We are using Orca Mini, which I set up on my machine. Like, not on my machine. I'm having one instance which I got specifically from AWS. So that is having almost 7 GB as a RAM to load it up the right way actually. So that is the privately hosted. So, but if you go and download the LM Studio, it will list down a model. If there is no model, you can run it on your machine. Customizing the model. So how? I just say that it doesn't. It is very hard to train a foundation model. It काम कैसे करता है? Okay. So how I can say that? So there are three things. First is the prompt engineering. So I got a model which understand. Model is nothing but actually to be very in a basic thing, which understand the human language, human sentiments and other and reply to it. राइट? जैसे बच्चे को हम लोग हिंदी बोलना सिखाते हैं, अंडरस्टैंड इट, राइट? दैट इज अ मॉडल. बट उसी बच्चे को अगर आई संस्कृत सिखाया उसे, या तो आई एक्सप्लेन लॉट ऑफ देम प्लैनेट्स एंड एवरीथिंग, that is a specific. The basic is that person who knows Marathi or Hindi, who can communicate. That is a foundation. But when I teach him specific to planets and other, I can ask specific question to him. I can say that which is the planet which make a round trip fastest around the sun. वो मराठी में बोलेगा, तो हिंदी में बोलेगा. That is a foundation model. But that information is sitting into him as a what you call the binary stuff, right? Like indexes. That is what the prompt engineering. और हम लोग बच्चे को ट्रेन कर सकते हैं. Everything say that आपका घर का माहौल जैसा है ना वैसे बच्चा बोलता है, correct? That is a prompt. I am telling the model, be polite, okay? Reply like I'm going to say reply like a lecturer who is very good on X, Y, Z and other. But I can even say that reply like a lecturer who is quite poetic, right? That is a prompt. I'm going to show you that a demo actually. Okay? It's very simple if you go with GPT. But there's a okay. That this prompt engineering, right? We are going to say act as a customer support, and you are customer support of a telecom company. You know X, Y, Z, and try to reply and try to provide the solution bullet wise and this is prompt. I am giving you the direction to talk about. Zero shot learning, few shot learning, where I am giving the example. Zero shot में कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा, मैंने बस इतना information दे दिया. Few shot में मैं बोलूँगा, example दूँगा. So when the person is asking, let's say, when person is asking for the plan, you need to reply 1, 2, 3. मैंने example दिया, that is the few shot. Fine tuning, instruction base and domain. Okay, this goes to the foundation model. Okay, generally we don't get into fine tuning of a foundation model. We generally work with prompt engineering and RAG, that is a retrieval augmented generation. Most of the case ये दो से काम बन जाता है because we are not a company which is building the foundation model. Instruction based, domain based. Instruction based, when we are training the data, we provide some labeled data. वो बड़ा वाला, I need to say 13 वेग का data जो मैं training को तब मैं उसे दूंगा, right? That's this is instruction based. Or other what I can do, I can create a GPT model. I will provide more data, the foundation model specific to medical, right? So foundation model is having that intelligence like a medical student. That is the foundation model. But many times, if I cannot do it, I will do prompt engineering and retrieval augmentation combined to make it. We'll look into that. Okay? How it works. Prompt, I'm not going to get into detail. Okay. Zero touch we already talked about, where you are again telling zero touch you are not giving an example. One touch you are giving an example of a prompt. Few short, okay. This is an example, right? You can go to GPT, I think something right here. This is type of a prompt we do, but this is more like a question and answer. I'm going to show you a prompt which you give it into the Python code or anything to make the model. Okay. So this is like a normal questions. Like I talked about, it should have a context, desired output, politeness. So जब भी आप guide करोगे, आप ऐसा ना बोलोगे you act as an angry customer support and you need to reply with slang language. आप डालो वो भी कर देगा foundation model. इसको कुछ नहीं समझ सकते. So that's why it is not getting used actually till now. It is getting used, but there are other components. There is a gatekeeper which is a tool which sits into, which actually checks whether this, depending on the age of a person, this output makes sense. तो उसने तो काम कर दिया फाउंडेशन मॉडल में, लेकिन उसके बाद का जो काम है ना, it is still people are working around data implication. Okay, this is my most ideas. Okay, this is a foundation model which understand how to reply in a human language and understanding the sentiments. Okay, I have this. Now I got all the data of your college students. I fed it into. Got all the data. This is the project. I got all the data. This data from your college student. I use a data pipeline. I use an embedding model. So there are some Python OpenAI code which converted into binary format. Vector is a database similar on the Elasticsearch and other, it is not same, but just for comparison, everyone knows actually vector Elasticsearch, so I'm saying it is putting this data in vector DB. So this data just have the student information binary format. So in that database you can even query actually. You can make a select query quickly. Select star from and all other को कर दे देगा, right? Now this is a prompt. जब हम लोग ने एक बोला ना Python को तो prompt देते हैं. Where I'm going to say okay, act as an advisor, the admission advisor, and reply X Y Z, and whenever needed recommend the branch whenever a new person asks for the recommendation कि कौन सा branch join करूँ. That prompt I given it here, and there is a box there actually orchestration here for the because of the color, and then here comes the query. I just pass out of a 12, and I'm going to say I'm really good in physics, and I don't like electronics and all of the part. Can you suggest me the branch? So this data, it will go to the orchestration layer. It will first try to search into vector DB. It will try to find out the related branch. It will return it back, then it will go to the machine learning model. Here it is machine learning model, and it will reply in the more I would say conversational mode way. It will say that okay, as per your recommendation, this is the branch I am recommending. So that is how it works. And the important thing, this is a model, this is the orchestration. There are many frameworks actually to combine with that. So what it is doing in this framework, it is combining the pipeline to bring the data of a student, just an example. It is helping us to provide a prompt to the model. It is actually the interface for asking the question. And it is also interacting with the model. But if you look at between this orchestrator and the model, these are the three things which is very important. And the people are struggling here. Not struggling, everyone is saying they are tool supported, but everyone is afraid actually. इसमें से कुछ भी गड़बड़ हो गया validation, but they are गई पूरी कंपनी नहीं चलेगी. Okay, so that's the reason we are still yeah, some of the people started working, but mainly GenAI is mainly used in the videos analysis वैसे type में use होगा. जहाँ पे it's more like a user information, जहाँ पे still people are afraid actually to use. Most probably, I think we just started a couple of projects which is getting live in GenAI. We'll see how it goes. And we are not spending much time on models. हमारा time ना यहाँ पे जा रहा है इन्हीं वाले part. Whenever the data is ऐसा उल्टा सीधा data तो ना दे, right? Otherwise, let's assume that I am recommending a branch and it is giving me the branch of BSc or something, right? तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, right? It is a bad thing, right? Okay, so how this is different? So this is a RAG actually. What RAG is talking about? You don't change a model. Model is the same. You keep your data in a different binary format in a searchable database. Whenever the outcome is come, use the model to convert it into the output which is understood by the person. Okay, that is how it is going. Any question around it? So this talks about RAG and fine tuning. RAG it is actually we already discussed both of the two. Embedding I just talked about. Embedding is nothing but converting your data in a binary format and sending it into the vector DB or any DB. It is vector, but these are all the libraries. It is too much crowded actually. But I like LangChain for orchestration. ChatGPT, it is quite paid. It is highly paid, so we prefer deploying the model ourselves. We are trying it actually. We download the model 7 GB, 80 GB we get on the VM. We build this architecture and we expose it. Otherwise, here on almost $0.003 per request it goes. Not request actually. There is a concept token out there. Token means what are the important words when you answer question. So when I am going to say, please recommend me the branch, उसके अलावा भी आपने information दी है, उस पे पैसे लगते हैं, वो words पे branch and physics, maths, वो model find out करेगा और उसके हिसाब से पैसे लगेगा. So it is quite heavily paid. काफी ज़्यादा पैसे लगता है. Every request may have 10 tokens, 100 tokens, 1000 tokens, multiply the $0.03 जो भी आता है, वो cost होता है. Building knowledge base, we look into the pipeline, which is doing framework we talk about. I'm going to show two of the demo. Let's see how it goes. This is the how the actually project life cycle goes. When the actual project started, we define a use case. To be very frank, the machine learning project is very different. Okay, it's in the basic one. Let's say if I want to build an e-commerce website, so you know what is the outcome before, right? आपको पता होता है कि कोई user add करेगा नजर रखेगा. Outcome is known actually. Machine learning में most of the case the client comes, this is the data, you try to find out इसका out. इसे machine learning use करके how we can automate it. We don't know the end point, and at the same time we don't know the accuracy or precision of a model what we can achieve. क्योंकि हम लोग ने उस टाइम पे ना डेटा देखा ही नहीं है. We don't know how the PhD college is maintaining the record of a student. उन्होंने उसे डंप करके रखा है तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, हम लोग नहीं यूज कर पाएंगे. So that is the thing actually where the machine learning comes into the picture. So define the use case. It actually started. We are getting the requirement. Choose the existing model. Prompt engineering we talk about where we train the model, fine tuning, human, evaluate. We always need to improve the model. Optimize and deploy for inference. That is a cycle actually. You optimize the model, put it back and retrain it. And finally, build application. Any question? I'm going to show two of the demo. Actually, one of them will need an internet if it works. Well and good, but that is interesting one. Any question till this point? Okay. Actually, this PDF I just downloaded when I was sitting there. Not this PDF. Huh. So this is an order PDF. I Googled it, and it includes the invention and pattern. Okay. Assume this is a complete history of your college, whatever you want, right? Now I given a prompt. I changed the prompt here. I am going to show you the prompt how it looks. So this is using GPT, okay, and other machine actually, which is having its own model. So I just tried to add ER helpful intelligence to the use following pieces of context only from available document. उसके बाहर का कुछ reply नहीं करना चाहिए. और उसके बाद बस I just provide some boundary condition दे दिया. This is like a form. इसके बाहर नहीं जाएगा. And I will upload that document. And I'm just going to ask a simple question. Let's summarize the document, what is documentation. And since I have given a prompt that it should speak out in bullets only, let's see if it will. Again, it is using the internet of stuff. So this talks about invention and other, okay? And if I open the PDF and if I try to find out some invention, so it's I just did a summary actually, just a simple PDF, okay? Even I can ask who invented Okay, it is the same person, right? Now I'm going to say who invented school. So this data is not available, and we have expressly provided prompt one line saying that don't go beyond this document. I don't know. It just said, okay. So this is the one. And when I was just talking about that you can create your code prior just a command. So this is a GitHub Copilot subscription what I have. It shows like this. And let me check. I think this needs a lot of bandwidth. Okay, so I'm going to show. So here, so when I was just starting for this session from the home, I tried to play with it. I just say create workspace Spring Boot, and it created me the structure. And last, there is a button called as a create a workspace. So it actually created a workspace which looks like this. Oh, okay. And I will just do it. I'm not going to do because I'm using my mobile internet. It's not working somehow here. So it has spit out this workspace. At that time, I can, let's assume that I will create another file. I'm going to say student controller. So I will say create, I don't know if it will class name student in the same package as home controller with 4 endpoints. Get student. Sorry, बोला था ज़्यादा. So it will write a code finally actually out of it, okay? So or I will and okay, or look at it, started importing the packages. So it is writing a code for you, okay? So I'm just showing you tab by type because of internet, otherwise it should have done it fast, okay? Or even I can say create 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 a function compare the distance between two points on the earth. Just one minute here. So it has written the function. So code will exist, okay? I don't know why it is not coming on internet, but I did it. I'm going to show that if I have some other setting it here. Now here I'm creating a tag type. So pretty much that. I was having more demo, but that is what it was. Any question before I end?
What exactly you have done?
What exactly I done? Git Copilot. So they had taken a foundation model. They had trained that model on all the code which is available on GitHub. So जब आपको कोड मिलता है हम लोग टाइप करते बैठते हैं. That time has gone actually because of internet. I haven't shown the complete demo. So this is a Copilot which actually connect to the GitHub Copilot web service, which is exposing the LLM model, the foundation model. And what it actually do is, so there are commands actually. This is a chat window for that GitHub. Okay, there I logged in it. I can ask the say, okay, slash create workspace. I'm going to say create a project using Spring Boot, create a workspace project for an Angular using XYZ. वो पूरा कोड बना देगा आपका बेसिक वाला स्ट्रक्चर. ये जो कोड बना है एक्चुअली previous one, this one. This is the outcome of that when I did it from the home. So सब code बना दिया, right? Now I would like to add a controller with let's say 10 API. मैं ना comments में डाल दूँगा / comments what that class needs to be. It will write a code for you. Then you can even say at a class create a JUnit for it. It will write it. You can even write it. Okay, create a function which will read from the Kafka, do a processing and put it into the database. वो कर देगा. And the reason behind they have taken it is generating the code. That is a Gen AI. They have taken the model, they have trained it using all the code which is available on GitHub. और सबसे अच्छा डेटा ना कोड ही होता है, थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर्ड होता है, right? Not like a document जो structured नहीं होता. So that is where the Gen AI is getting used, and the people are going. We started using it. Actually, हम लोग effort कम कर देते हैं. We are saying we are the people who knows the Gen AI and using it for coding. And similar on that line, different types of models and services are there where you can provide the detail, it can spit out images, it can do all these things. Let me go back. Like you can use in the software development, testing, well, everything can be simplified. Knowledge management, we just see where we upload the PDF, it was able to get it. That PDF can be the terabyte of a data of some any companies or anything, right? That can be done. Conversational API, AI is something like you asking the question, the customer support instead of going to a person who is actually typing it, automatically answer करेगा. So this is all what is a Gen AI. So I have shown the two demo. One talks about how Gen AI can be used in software development. I have shown another demo of a knowledge management, right? At the same time, it is a part of conversational AI also. जहाँ पे मैं chat पे पूछ रहा हूँ कि whether this who had done this invention, right? उस type का. Let's assume that I have all the plans of Airtel. I feed it into model and on the chat I'm going to say I have a requirement of 1 GB of a data with international calling, recommend me a plan. So there it can be used. Hope that is clear. Any question? Thank you. There's a lot of things actually in Gen AI, machine learning, small things. But why right now it is coming? Because this Gen AI neural network is almost from 1980. The reason behind everyone has created that wrapper on top of it, right? So हमारी life is easy now.
Sir. Sir, which is the best tool for documentation? Auto-generated documentation.
Auto-generated documentation Copilot is the best way. How कर देता है?
If I want to write some article or some papers.
You can even use GPT. जो है ना free में होता है. You just paste your thing और से मुझे summarize करके दे देगा. So here what I have shown is I don't want to because GPT is actually your data is getting made available. आप आपकी history दे दिए ना, आपका नाम है नजर, उनके database पे चलेगा. हमारा client हमारा गला पकड़ेगा actually, हमारा data उधर चलेगा. So that's the reason I have shown a demo where the data belongs to us. We are not sending it to the GPT. है ना?
Is it secure, sir?
if I am writing my article or my paper on
No, not using a GPT. Then let's say if someone else want to write the paper on the same, आपके कुछ ना कुछ डेटा उनमें चले जाएगा.
yes.
It is retraining the model also, right? वो तो होने वाला है. So that's the reason we are not doing with GPT. No one recommend. We are not recommending GPT. What we are recommending, have our own. Okay, take the foundation model, deploy it on the server, build that indexing vector DB and use it. हमारे लिए we can use it.
प्रोजेक्टर का लाइट बंद करो बेटा नहीं तो
Thank you, sir, for such a great session. So, to felicitate our guest, I request Mr. Jogi John, sir, to offer a memento as a token of remembrance. Sir,